get round here. 50 pence a bill. This time we all come out with something in our pockets.
I used to fool around.
Oh, for Christ's sake, Dad, this is the reality check. The Paul's dead. Jimmy's dead. Duke and Black are both where they are. It's guilty. And the service Nick's dead. Well, they killed you like you take a pig. Come on, it's coming! Don't point that gun at me! Put it down! Go at him! Just look at me! Look at me! Put the gun down! You're gonna get him all shot!
How did that other little errand go?
Success. As far as I could make out.
Where? My Christmas. You hot ladies couldn't catch a car with the drive. Shut up, you soppy wanker!
Go. Dingo bongo.
So tell me, is this area now secure?
Yes, sir.
Well, you can f*** there, can't you?
So where are the films, genius?
Where's it been now?
Couldn't be this. You are in the wrong game, mate. Work with us.
We square.
Safer. No, your pills are in the back. Help yourself.
A cabinet with its mirrors smashed, a dresser missing a leg. How about a treasured German-made clock shattered into pieces? A sofa that appeared as if it was dragged on the street, or a used toilet brush tucked in with the family's clothes. Upon arrival at their new duty station, one soldier and her family discovered that their boxes were packed upside down. Everything inside was spilled out and crushed. Quote, "I grew up in the military and our things always arrived damaged or packed wrong," said one family member. "We hardly got any money for it." These are some of the stories about what it's like to move when you're serving in the military, or at least what it used to be like when you move in the military. Last year, as we were heading into peak moving season, I pledged to fix this mess, to make the moving process serve our warriors as it should be. They're the ones who are sacrificing the most, and they're the ones that deserve the best. So we established a task force to assess the problems of the Permanent Change of Station, or PCS, moves. We listened to the concerns of our warriors. And so I fired the head of the failing program. Well, all through the peak moving season and even through the government shutdown, our task force was thankfully a success. That's why, effective immediately, I'm designating this activity, which is personal property activity, as a Department of War special activity. It will be a permanent solution for all service members who move. It'll be headquartered at Scott Air Force Base in Illinois and established by May 1st. Major General Lance G. Curtis will be its first commander. In fact, he was the man we called to put in charge of this, that fixed it, and he's going to continue. Its mission is to guarantee high quality, reliable, and efficient household goods and vehicle shipment services to the more than 300,000 warfighters worldwide who move somewhere every new year. Baggage and other household effects, they need to arrive on time, and they will. Storage in transit and non-temporary storage will be professional. There'll be no other standard. And if there are failures, our job is to correct it and make it right. Not deny that it happened. We'll correct it and make it right. General Curtis will report to me here at the Pentagon, as he has already. And with this order, we're streamlining the moving process end to end, establishing a standard of accountability all across the entirety of the Department of War. In addition, the National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA, for fiscal year 2026, signed by President Trump in December, includes relocation resources for our military families. So we're funding this to make it happen. They'll get information about local school enrollment for their children and employment for other family members, support that makes it easier when you're moving to a new location. We know moving is difficult for everyone involved, every person in that family. So our warfighters deserve the kind of predictability, accountability, and respect during that process. Brings the stress down, makes it something they can focus on their job. Our warriors deserve the best, and that's what this reform will deliver. Well, thank you, and good afternoon. You know, folks in Washington like to invoke President Reagan's name, often when they criticize President Trump. They say, or at least insinuate, that Donald Trump is nothing like Ronald Reagan. They say the current president's approach is nothing like the vision championed by Ronald Reagan at the height of the Cold War, as we grappled with the Soviets and ultimately prevailed. But those folks are wrong. They're dead wrong. Most who invoke Ronald Reagan's name today, especially self-styled Republican hawks, are not much like Ronald Reagan. The policies they've championed are nothing like his. In fact, for the better part of 30 years, they've been quite the opposite. If you look at actual policies, Donald Trump is the true and rightful heir of Ronald Reagan. It's President Trump who has inherited and restored President Reagan's powerful but focused and realistic approach to national defense. It's therefore only fitting that we gather at the Reagan Presidential Library today to talk about President Trump's America First, Peace Through Strength, Common Sense agenda and what it means at the Department of War. One need only look at the results to understand why President Trump is that rightful heir. So let's look at what Reagan and his administration actually did. Reagan rebuilt the military after Vietnam, and that is rightfully considered one of his greatest achievements. President Trump has done and is doing the same, making historic investments in defense. But President Reagan also believed sincerely in the peace part of Peace Through Strength, as his actions show. It was not a popular thing to do at the time, at the height of the Cold War, to talk to communists. Yet President Reagan did. During his high-profile meetings with Mikhail Gorbachev and others, Ronald Reagan saw the prudence and potential in engaging with our nation's adversaries, even in the face of fierce criticism at home, including from his own party. But President Reagan wasn't naive. He recognized that fruitful engagement with our adversaries were only possible.
What's up?
Can you make an Australia Day barbie at my place? Bit of cricket?
Which is
Couple of
why
lamb
they
chops?
focus so much
You in?
on building up.
Yeah, all right.
I love those cutlets.
Yeah, is Bert coming?
Yours,
Yeah,
someday
okay.
talk about Trump.
Fine, Rob.
President Reagan and his team inherited a military worn down from their generation.
Typical.
A barbie, Richie. I'd love to.
Brilliant.
I'll make the money.
2 for 22. 1 sec, Ida. Australia Day barbie at your
The
job.
Reagan administration, named for his Secretary of Defense, Casper Weinberger, was
I'm busy, Richie.
Come on,
All
Sam.
right, I'm in. You know what I'm bringing? And it's not tofu.
So everyone's in.
Yeah,
Weinberger
so-
Two
doctrine.
rights.
Affirmative.
Fantastic.
Hang on,
The
hang on.
United States
Ned,
should not commit
haven't you
forces
gone
to
veg,
combat
That's a
unless
shame.
the vital
I'm gluten
national
intolerant.
interest of the United
not
States
even a
or
real
its
thing.
allies.
It ain't a real thing. It's in me family. My mother had it, my father had it. No,
You're delusional, Ned.
I'm not a veg like. I like lamb.
Intention of
Marvellous.
winning.
Lamb's on.
Otherwise,
It's
troops
nice.
Why
should
don't
not
you
be.
bring ice? You never bring anything.
Third, U.S. combat troops should be committed only with
Spin this back
clearly
around.
defined political and military objectives, and with the capacity to accomplish those objectives. And fourth, the commitment of U.S. troops should be considered only as a last resort.
Where's my glass?
And it was reflected in how President Reagan actually used the American military, namely in a focused, decisive manner, and only when he determined that it was in our nation's vital interest to do so. In fact, throughout his time in office, President Reagan only committed U.S. ground forces twice, in Grenada and in Lebanon. Otherwise, he focused the joint force on the Cold War era threat and priority theater, Soviets in Europe. That's how President Reagan achieved peace through strength, always with a clear eye toward lasting peace. Suffice it to say, Ronald Reagan's disciplined, focused, and realistic approach was a far cry from the grandiose, nation-building, moralistic, and rudderless wars that many of his self-described acolytes led us into in the decades after Reagan left office. Wars my generation fought. Indeed, it's only under President Trump's leadership during his first term and now that we've been able to restore America's greatness after years of suffering under the so-called bipartisan consensus, which is really just a euphemism for disastrous foreign policy. Out with utopian idealism, in with hard-nosed realism. To be specific, Ronald Reagan taught us the value of focused, powerful leadership, but his so-called disciples didn't heed that lesson. Since the end of the Cold War, a generation of self-proclaimed neo-Reaganites have touted Reagan's name, but didn't govern like him. All the bluster, none of the clarity. That's especially true in the military. This generation of self-proclaimed neo-Reaganites abandoned Reagan's actual wise policies in favor of unchecked neoconservatism and economic globalism. In economics, they dismantled our industrial base, shipping it overseas. At the same time, in diplomacy and defense, they swore off the clear-eyed, flexible realism of Reagan, Nixon, and Eisenhower. Instead, they set about trying to make America the policeman, the protector, the arbiter of the whole world. Democracy for all, they say, even in the Pesh River Valley. Even when people don't want it, can't do it. They turned American allies into dependents, all but encouraging these nations across Europe and around the world to free ride while we subsidize their defense with U.S. taxpayer dollars. These self-described neo-Reaganites sought global military hegemony under the auspices of peace through strength. Instead, we got rudderless wars in the Middle East, land war in Europe, and the economic rise of China. After presiding over such a poor performance, it's remarkable that these people still think they're qualified to speak in public, let alone moralize. Some of them have even been awarded on this very stage. But President Trump knows better. He knows what it means to restore peace through strength on an enduring basis. To put our nation's interests first and the American people first in a way that is practical, applicable, and common sense. That leaves, importantly, America better, but also leaves our allies better. It's the vision that he ran on and led on in his first term.
And I think this is a forgotten method in our society. It's talked about a lot, but I think the actual reality of what that means, it's a very physical thing, and it's not so. That can be pain, that can be ache, it can be like pressure and stress and like whatever, and it's like it's the dance between being willing to push through that and to not see
heaven sent you, pucker up our passion spent. My heart's your body's rent, my body's
so it's going through that pain for love and for caring. And for some reason this subject, I can feel it because what I wrote down was the end. And so this is the end, and this is me describing this end, because I think me speaking this into this place, I've told one person basically about this, but I haven't told anyone else, really. I've kind of tried it doesn't really work. It's like, it's too, unless you're with me along the whole thing, you can't really understand it. And even then, even this person, that was hard, and that had its whole list of things. But yeah, for some reason, this subject, I can feel the weight of it. And basically what it feels like is I'll at some point get absolute confirmation of what I've done, what I've tried to do, and whether that's worked or not. But me making public what it was, for me, is an end point, and this is the point it's coming at. And so for me personally, I feel like it's like, now that I've chosen this moment to say that out loud, it's kind of like I feel like I can close my eyes and go to sleep for a year, 2 years. Like collapse almost. because it doesn't make sense to me. If I go through it rationally, I don't actually understand how I did what I did for as long as what I did without any, with just, yeah, the place I've been it's not on any map. It's not. It's the opposite. It's the place when the map is gone. It's like the depths of all the metaphors that we have in mythology, all these stories about going to fucking Hades and hell and these odysseys and things like this is what I'm talking about. It's the internal battle about seeing something through that, and about the dance between that internal struggle and the external world and how it's coming into it. And the biggest thing is, and this is probably for anyone, but just especially for men, it's like this is we have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. We have to get comfortable again with being warriors, with being explorers, with being and doing it conceptually, which is what I've done. I haven't killed anyone or been there's been some violent things. I did go to jail. That wasn't nice. There's interactions with it, but the battle for me is all about not going there, and that's going there. But this is the thing, going there, because this is what you won't know if you haven't done it, but trying to push something conceptually like this large into this environment, that is conflict, and the conceptual nature of it does not protect you against the conflict. It is very real. So I had to, like, in a lot of the time I was spent physically manifesting what would be the physical of the past. Like in the past, I would have actually physically been doing these things, like killing, blood, death, destruction. And so I had to do what I tried to do. I had to go to those places and feel them very, 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 very real. And I had to recreate, put pressure on my body and do fucked up things, and like just to get because there was a disconnect between what my brain was doing, what I was trying to conceptually do, and what the physicality was, and that was the process I used, was self-destruction, was ripping this body and this mind to shreds. In every way possible, because that's, and so this, within that, see, people could look at that and go, well, that's some type of weird mental disorder. It's not. It's like, that's what's required. And what I'm glad it is. If that wasn't required in this digital environment, then we'd have people doing shit fucking willy-nilly all over the place. The fact that these conceptual defenses are just as real as real defenses, and they are just as hard to navigate through, and that to me is so reassuring, because I'm like, well, that's good, because there are people out there that want to do wrong and want to do evil, and I'm glad that they have to walk the same gauntlet that I did in order to tip the world in a negative path. And it's like the same with the people that were doing things that maybe just from like ignorance and under preparation or misunderstanding of the circumstances, I've had to compete against them and bring them down, and they that's what I'm trying to bring them into conflict with, is the actual reality of these conceptual games. These conceptual games, going into them naive and oblivious to the fact that there are real consequences to your actions, and the consequences of scaling something beyond your control. It's not understood absolutely, like to the depths of your soul. Where if you produce something and put it out to the world, and that may cause absolute death and structure, if you don't go through that process, if you're doing that from a naive, like juvenile standpoint, then you will be exposed and you will be brought to justice. And this conceptual landscape needs to have its fucking training wheels on, and it needs to have consequences built into it. And there are people policing it now. We will be policing it. If you want to do this, if you want to use these digital shortcuts and this new landscape to go and force something into the world, if you take shortcuts and you cut corners and you hurt people, if you hurt children, if you hurt women in our society by your impetuousness to thrust something into the world, like, mine's kind of easy because it's a conceptual thing and it doesn't have, so it's like a cultural thing, and so that requires a lot of cultural stuff, so it has to grow slowly and surely. But if it's a product or a technology or a scientific thing or an intrusional process or a medical procedure, medical ideology, you will be exposed, you will be outed, you will be ridiculed, and you will be brought to justice.
And he's building on it now.
We can see you.
It's a vision, not the quasi-imperialist delusions that led us to so many disasters in the recent decades, that will actually bring us back to the true legacy of Ronald Reagan. Out with utopian idealism, in with hard-nosed realism. Just look at the facts. Like President Reagan, President Trump is dedicated to both sides of the peace through strength coin. Not just using that phrase as a thin veil for warmongering. In less than a year, President Trump has secured 8 major peace deals, including a historic end to the war in Gaza. And he's not finished yet. Even as we speak, under the president's leadership, we are working tirelessly to end the tragic war in Ukraine. A war that
wage a defensive battle against some of the largest
the world sees an
media and corporate
America today.
And government entities in the world. Well, secretly, I'm actually a fucking bazillionaire in disguise. Yeah, so that helped. In a battle that, you know, we'd known about for fucking years, so I'd planted myself here, looking like a fucking crazy povo person to do it. No, not really. I know how to fucking survive. What is this? That's oats with MCT oil and honey. And I put it in the fridge, like mix it up, and it becomes like this weird, like kind of crumble thing. And I'll live on that. It's not fucking ideal. You know what I mean? It's not great. When I eat meat, I feel way better. If I wasn't doing this particular type of hunting, where I'm hunting and trying to defend against bullshit, I'd probably go and hunt my own meat. Or I'd go and do some work that wasn't this to make some money to go and buy meat off a farmer that I have. There's plenty of around here. That's what I love doing. If I want to buy meat, really good land or something like that. I've got a few people around here that grow really good land, and I'll do a deal with them where I'll buy either a whole land or a half land. Or I'll buy a big portion of meat and then do it myself. But I have to economically regulate and ration myself my resources to be able to do that. And I live in what was a really old shitty shed that I converted for $3,000 years and years and years ago. That's where I live, so that I can do this. Which is pretty crazy. Like that's what I was forced into. In this economic, this is an economic war. It's just, I'm fucking old school, man. You don't want to fuck with someone like me. You know what I mean? Like we built this fucking place. We went to wars. We did all the shit. We know how to survive. We're like fucking cockroaches. And yeah, under every law you have in this government, like, you really should back pay me for defending this region against bullshit. And whatever way it comes, whether it comes from you back paying me fucking whatever you owe me, or whether it comes from me taking you to court, or whether it comes from me pressing charges against all the miss fucking whatever that I've been bringing into thing, or whether it comes from tax breaks, from the amount of sheer level of PR and marketing and defensive content material that I've produced, and getting that answer about what that per post value is so I can get those tax credits that I deserve. Whatever way this ends up happening, do not start a war with someone who's going to live on fucking oats. And even if I don't have oats, you don't know the amount of fucking shit I've got up my sleeve. I can live here, you can't. Yeah? And I'm not paying for new people to come and live here in brand new houses and brand new thing, and paying outrageous levels for food that isn't, like, that's not basic living standard, that's fucking luxury basis. And while I'm being attacked, you want to make it more obvious? The only reason most people don't know this war against people like me is going on is because most people are waiting and they didn't take the strategy to go all in. As soon as I went all in, it becomes really clear, because you're at war with me while I was at a loss trying to do a business. You fucked. You've got no thing to go on. You've got nothing. You're basically like, yeah, you can't continue your monopoly games while attacking me. It will break down. It's really unfortunate. I feel really sorry that you weren't made aware of that earlier. I tried to fucking warn you. There. If you're ever in a pinch, huge bag of oats is like $3. Bag of bottle of MCT oil, or you can just get coconut oil, is $15. And a big thing of good honey goes straight to the farmer. I've got 5 generations honey. They're a apiary honey company, West Australian, family owned. Obviously been 5 generations in my very little town of Gingerton, and I grabbed a big thing of that, and it's, I think, $27 plus rate. That is all the energy you need to keep you going. Again, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm looking forward to going outside that, but I will go to that diet. I pushed into some type of economic war. The communist government is in the final stages of collapse, because they just keep giving shit for free. Free boat trust, free, tax breaks. And then showing us pretty pictures of all the things they're going to do. But no, mate, because we're not going to build it. I'm not going to build your shit, and I'm not going to help anyone build it. I'm not going to teach anyone how to build it. I'm not going to supervise anyone who's going to build it. I'm also not going to not defend myself against the people you bring in to build it. So you're just in a trap of your own making. I'd love to know what the PM had yesterday, and the day before, and the day before, and the day before, and the day before. Same with criminal. Look at that for lunch, mate. Curious. You just can't deal with it. You can't deal with something going into voluntary property. It doesn't work. It ruins the game. How did I manage to wage a defensive battle against some of the largest media and corporate and government entities or secret.
G'day, my name's Sean Greenwell. I'm here at W&J Greenwell and Gin. We're a nutrient agent. For any of your Gallagher service repairs for your Energizers, drop them back to your nearest store, reseller store, who'll then send them off to Melbourne to have them genuine parts put back into them, fixed and sent back with a warranty. For all your calls, see your local reseller.
These historic opportunities for peace are not happening by chance. It's President Trump's vision and determination. Like President Reagan, President Trump is willing to talk to rivals. From Mikhail Gorbachev to Deng Xiaoping in the 1980s to Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping today. This is born of strength, not weakness. It is born of clarity, purpose. Folks in Washington like to criticize President Trump for doing so, but those critics forget that this is exactly what Ronald Reagan did. And America was better off for it. Like President Reagan, President Trump also knows how important it is to negotiate from a position of strength, especially military strength. And at the newly renamed Department of War, thanks to President Trump's leadership and to Congress, we received a historic boost in funding last year and believe that is over.
Juliet, the dice was loaded from the start, and I bet, and you exploded into my heart, and I forget the movie song. When you're gonna realize it was just that the time was wrong, Juliet. Come up on different streets, they both were streets of shame. Both dirty, both mean, yes, and the dream was just the same. And I dreamed your dream for you, and now your dream is real. How can you look at me as if I was just another one of your deals? When you can fall for chains of silver, you can fall for chains of gold. You can fall for pretty strangers.
What are you making here? The true history of mankind. It's a true history, no fiction, no lie. Africa 2 million years ago, humans and moved. Migration. 10,000 years ago, civilization. You.
This is me?
Yeah, and me too. Us. Take people. In tribal societies, hunters, gatherers, planters, they never killed more animals than they could use. They never plowed more land than they needed. And they fought, but they never waged war. They never exterminated. They had a place in the world. And in the world, they were part of it. And they shared it. We changed all that.
Now what? Are we supposed to change it back? What are we supposed to do?
Move.
Move where?
Out of my way.
Oh. Are we supposed to unbuild the cities? Wander off into the jungle like you did?
The stupid specious argument. You figure it out. I'm busy.
You're a pain in the neck, Ethan.
I know. Now get out. Dominion.
What?
We have only one thing to give up. Our dominion. We don't own the world. We're not kings yet, not gods. Can we give that up? Too precious, all that control. Too tempting being a god.